If you hood educated, I'm glad you made it. Allow me to unfold my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from a hood brother's point of view to all of you here, there, and everywhere. Now check me out. OTF Jam is on the stand. And look, let me be transparent with y'all. It's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different type of betrayal or hurt that you go through. Like, I'm even like having feelings now when you have someone that you trusted betray you. It's a feeling that you just don't want. You know, you that's something that you would never be able to get over, you know. Some of y'all never experienced that type of betrayal. Some of you have. And even though I speak against that type of life, you know, I do understand that type of life. I don't agree with that type of life, you know, the gang banging and you know, the criminal activity. I don't agree with it. However, I was once a part of it. And being that I was once a part of it, those rules and regulations is hard to break. That mindset is hard to break. It's still in my memory bank. It's not like I can just delete it. It's still there. And knowing that OTF Jam is on the stand, testifying against his homeboys who trusted him, and he, you know, led them to believe that he was trustworthy, is potentially finna give these boys a life sentence. Potentially, right? Like, for me, that's disgusting and it's disturbing. And it's important that we display or we talk about these type of things so that, you know, the younger brothers or the classic brothers and sisters don't fall into this, to the point where you would be sitting in someone's courtroom having someone who you thought was trustworthy testifying against you, potentially will cause you to spend the rest of your natural born life in a jail cell. That's what OTF Jam is doing to Lil Durk, DD, and Brown Eyes, because the rest of these guys are going to do the same thing that OTF Jam is doing. Now, the crazy part about this is that Jam is on the stand. It almost appears that he is, I mean, according to the reports that I'm getting, it almost appears that it's hard for him to testify. It's hard. They are reporting that he's fidgety. He's not keeping, you know, eye contact for long periods of times. You know, some of the questions that they are asking him, he, you know, kind of, it appears that he don't want to answer them, but he's answering them. And one of the questions, you know, they went into the history, right, of the black disciples. And, you know, they had him, you know, show, or well, not show, but explain, you know, the rules and regulations to the gang. How do you get to the top of the gang? Who are the foot soldiers and things of that nature? And I can only assume that they're doing this, and like I said before, they're painting a picture for the jury to show them, to let them know, hey, look, we're dealing with a violent gang here who has a violent history, right? And so they asked him in one of the questions, was you a part of the shooting that happened at the gas station in Los Angeles, California? He responded, yes. Is there anyone in this courtroom who was involved in that shooting with you? He responded, yes. And they asked him, the prosecution, can you point these guys out? and he pointed out Lil Durk, DD, Brown Eyes. That's it. You know, that is very crucial. That is powerful. Because, you know, we must understand that this jury, you know, this all-white jury with possibly a couple of Hispanic, you know, people is looking at these brothers, you know, that killed another brother. And a brother testifying saying that, hey, I was with them and him, we all did this to go kill this other brother. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But this is the life. This is gang banging. This is street life. And it really don't get too serious until somebody is dying or somebody is facing the rest of their life in the penitentiary. And that's what's going on right now. They asked him, how do you know King Von? He said, you know, I used to talk to King Von's sister, or I tried to talk to King Von's sister, but he was a little younger than me. You see, they asked him about the 12 years that he spent in prison. And he talked about that. He even explained that while he was in prison, a lot of people forgot about him. A lot of people. People that he wouldn't imagine. They forgot about him. But not Lil Durk. He said that, you know, Lil Durk would send him money on a regular basis. 50 here, 100 there, 1,000 here. All the time. Durk would send him money. And so, just that right there alone, right? You know, the betrayal that's happening right now. You know, look, let me explain something to you brothers and you sisters. Man, don't get into that life. Do not get into that life. It'll destroy you. It causes nothing but pain, misery, death, and time out your life in somebody's penitentiary. You do not want to be in that lifestyle. Not only that though, you know, other things that happened today is they spoke about O Block, right? And the main reason that Lil Durk was highly upset at O Block is this. King Von is from O Block. Being that King Von was killed by Lil Tim and, you know, the Crips down there in Atlanta, he would have thought in his mind that O Block would be leading the charge to get King Von's get back. So he even offered them, you know, look, I will get y'all an Airbnb in Atlanta so that you guys can go to war with Quando, Rondo, and Lil Tim and those guys. So that you can get y'all lick back. So that you can get your get back for King Von. But the guys in O Block wasn't going for it. They wasn't ready to slide for Von like that. And so that made him upset because he knew then that he had to pick up the torch. He had to go and, you know, put his life on the line to get back for King Von. Instead of the people that is from King Von's own neighborhood. Look, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, just seeing OTF Jam on that stand like that, it just like, you would never understand what that feels like unless that happened to you. You see, you would never understand what that feel like unless, you know, you was in that life and they brought you some paperwork saying that, hey, look, this guy right here intends to testify against you in the court. That's a different type of pain. I don't wish that on nobody. I would like to wish that, young brothers and sisters or classic brothers and sisters don't even get involved in that lifestyle, so you don't even have to worry about nothing like that. You see, you don't even have to go through nothing like that. See, if Lil Durk and them wasn't a part of that type of lifestyle, he'll still be free right now today. But being that he believed in that life wholeheartedly, he did what is required of that lifestyle. And now it could possibly cost him his life. He continued to testify, and he said that they asked him about, his relationship or some of, the things him and Lil Durk was going through when he got out of prison. Jam did 12 years. Jam said that whenever Durk would change his phone number, he made sure that his mother got his new phone number. He also said that when he got out of prison, he called Durk and he told Durk, "Hey man, I'm broke. I ain't got no clothes." And Durk told him, "Yes you do. You got us." And made sure that he had money and he had clothes. They asked him more about, his gang affiliation with the Black Disciples. And he got the name and, some Black Disciples, Rondo #9, Chief Keef. And as he was talking about the Black Disciples, it's being reported that, like he would look up at Durk and the guys that he's testifying against, and he just would be shaking his head, like as if, like he really don't want to do what he's doing, but he's compelled to do what he's doing because he don't want to do no more time. Let me tell you, brother, something. Especially you street guys. Whenever a brother do 12 years in prison and he get out of jail, do not let him get back in the streets. Whenever a brother do a large amount of his life in prison and when he get out, he want to get back into the streets, do not let him get back in the streets. Or, if he does, don't do no business with him. Stay away from him. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you do all that time in prison, the last thing you want to do is go back to prison. And when these guys come out from doing all that time and they get in the streets and then they face with going back to do a lot of time, they don't want to do it. And so then they start breaking down. Rules and regulations don't apply no more. They don't want to go do all that time. How do they get from up under that? They start testifying. They start telling. So this is just some game for y'all, because I know y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna be in the streets anyway. I mean, look, hey, some of y'all gonna have to learn the hard way, but I'm trying to give you some game. A person that did a lot of time, do not. Because they gonna tell on you. The same way Jam is doing Lil Durk, DD, and Brown Eyes right now. During the trial, during the questioning, they asked Jam, do we have any gang tattoos, right? And see, like some people might say, well, why they asking him stuff like that? Well, they're trying to paint a picture. They baking a cake right now. You understand what I'm saying? And he said, yeah, I got some tattoos. What tattoos, gang tattoos, do you have? Oh, I got BDN, which stands for Black Disciple Nation. I have 300. I have Lamb, which is Lamron. And I have OTF. So, in the juror's mind, right? Tattoos mean a lot. In the juror's mind, when you get tattoos on your body, or people that ain't a part of that life, They believe that if you get a tattoo on your body, that means you certified, that you really stamped in that game, right? Can't know anybody just get an OTF tattoo. That's what the jury believes because they ain't a part of that lifestyle. We know that lames do what they want to do all the time. You see? But with him confessing, hey, look, I got OTF on my body. And with this case being about OTF at war with the gang or the Crips down there, Quando, Rondo, and Lil Tim them down there in Atlanta, you see, it's baking that cake for the juror. It's making the juror think and understand that, wow, this is serious. This is for real. And this guy who is testifying is a certified member of OTF. They baking. I'm telling you, they baking. Now, other things that they talked about, before Jam's testimony is that Lil Durk and OTF, they knew that OTF Jam was ready to snitch. They knew it. And to the point where they cut him off. They stopped dealing with him. They was calling him, Alpo, stuff like that. And y'all, for those of you who know, Alpo was the guy that was a part of a criminal organization out there in New York, and he testified and told on all his friends and stuff like that. And they understood that about OTF Jam. They knew that he was working with the feds. They cut him off. They stopped dealing with Jam. And look, when you dealing with somebody like Jam that knows your deepest secrets and you cut him off like that, hey, he's looking at that like that's betrayal. So something like that gives him the excuse and the okay to do what he's doing right now. Because the OTF Jam, y'all betrayed him first, right? But the reason why they betrayed him or stopped dealing with him is because they already knew that he was snitching or he was about to snitch. And he understood that because, he even, and we learning all this through text log, right? They texting each other in this group text. Lil Durk, DD, OTF Jam and all that. OTF Jam is saying, hey man, look, why y'all not messing with me no more? Like, why y'all ain't trying to talk to me? And they ignoring him. And I believe that right there played a partial role in what he's doing right now today. Because he's thinking like, man, look, why should I go down for what we did and spend the rest of my life when I can tell on a friend and probably get 10 instead of spending the rest of my life in the federal pen? So he's telling on them, but he's also telling on himself. Jam is talking about murders that ain't even got nothing to do with Lil Pa murder. According to the reports that are coming out, Jam has admitted to 3 murders. 3. And he is saying that all these murders has everything to do with the Black Disciple Nation. He's saying he killed somebody in Wisconsin because an OG told him to do it. You see what I'm saying? He said that one of the leaders of the Black Disciples told him to kill a guy in Racine, Wisconsin because that guy was going to tell. So Jam killed him, shot that person in the head. He also came out and said that Lil Durk specifically told him to kill Quando Rondo. Even identified Quando Rondo for him and said, hey, look, I want him dead. Now, at this meeting that they was all at, OTF Jam also said that Lil Durk told them, like, hey, whichever one of y'all catch him, y'all gonna be straight. Y'all ain't got to worry about nothing. And somebody in the group say, what you saying, a meal ticket or $500,000? Lil Durk said, whatever. Y'all ain't gonna have to worry about nothing if y'all catch Quando Rondo and Lil Tim. Now, his testimony is going to start tomorrow because they didn't get to cross-examine OTF Jam. But before he ended, he also spoke about when they first flew from Chicago to San Diego. He said him and Vonnie went to a Hooters bar, and kicked it there and waited for the other guys to come. He said while they was waiting there, I believe Vonnie was talking on the phone, and then he gave the phone to OTF Jam, and that's when Booney told OTF Jam the plan is to kill Quando Rondo. And now all they had to do is just wait on the other guys to come. Now, once those guys came, and also he said that he could hear Durk's voice in the background while he was talking to Booney. I don't know which one of them, Booney, whichever one it is, right? But he said Booney. Now, he said that once the other guys came, they took a van down to Los Angeles. So they went to the hotel where Quando Rondo was laying at. They got the information of his location through a weed dealer that Quando Rondo was buying weed from. I believe Booney got the location. The plan was to wait on Quando Rondo to come outside to come and pick up the weed from the weed dealer, and then they was gonna kill him. But I guess when he came out to get the weed, it was too hot. It was too many police around, and they couldn't do the hit then. So they said, okay, cool, we'll wait, and then we'll do it later. That right there concluded Jam's testimony as of today. He will be testifying bright early tomorrow. I'll be bringing that information to y'all. Hit the like button, like the video, hype the video so we can get this video out here. Look, this right here is this is the street life. This is what these guys live and die for. You know what I'm saying? To have one of their friends get on the stand and testify and tell them everything. I'm talking about from how it started and all the way to the end. This man right here is not done testifying. He will be testifying tomorrow. Now, to everybody that's watching this video that's a part of the streets, please understand that you are not exempt from everything that's happening right now. That a friend that you consider trustworthy, that could be standing right next to you, sitting right next to you, or whatever the case may be, will be OTF Jam on the stand telling everything. So the best thing that you can do is just leave that whole lifestyle alone. Get out the way, because it's not fair. When that pressure get applied, it busts pipes. And everything that you done in the dark will be brought to the light. This is Hood Educated, not Lame Related. Peace and love, and y'all take care of yourself out there. If I said anything that caused you to think, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And if you're feeling generous, please make a small donation to the channel. Peace and love.